Welcome to Talking Hawks. We are joining with fans all around the world, loving what we do. I'm in the new studio tonight. It's a bit bleak, but we've got a game that was a bit more exciting that we're going to talk about tonight. So we're going to review the Hawthorn Collingwood game at the G. We'll do our preview show Thursday, but tonight we'll look at the injuries, we'll look at Box Hill, we'll have a good look. There's no VFL, who we top plays, but the game that we're going to discuss, and I have Mitch here with me. How are you going, mate?
G'day, matey. Fans, how are we? Good to be here again. Lot to talk about tonight. Was an exciting game on the weekend. Bit of a tale of two halves, but it certainly lived up to the expectations in that second half. Although we didn't get a win, there's still a lot to like. So looking forward to getting into it.
Absolutely. Well, you've kept your powder dry there. It's nice. It definitely was a game of two halves. And Tom, welcome. Fans, let us know where you're tuning in from and who your favourite Hawks player is. Drop it in the comments. Let us know that you're hearing us loud and clear. But look, some promising signs, some things to be desired as a game. Let's just say what some of these. Yeah, good on you, Tony. A regular legend with this. It's almost like a g'day, Ralph. G'day, Sam. Bit of all that going on. Tom and Con. Welcome, lads. Dominic. Howdy. So, hey. Well, Kane, you're here to keep it lively with this big fella. So here we go. Absolutely. Well, Mitch has done a write-up. Daz went down, so he got the man flu, and he's gone down like a sack of spuds. And mate, he wasn't even looking to be a reserve. He was just gone. So, but let's get into it, Mitch. So, all right. I was at the ground. You've had an awesome look at it. All right. This is the first and last comment. Maybe towards the end of the game, we'll touch on it. But yes, Tom, 100%. There was some frustrating things both ways. So let's not take too much fire at the blokes in yellow. I would not envy that job at all. But all right. So game of two halves. I was a bit gobsmacked. They hit us. Bang, from the start, a couple of goals, we've responded, but I credit to the adjustment at quarter time. We were playing a lot of short kicking, trying to possess it, and I was a bit worried. And second half didn't show second quarter, didn't show a whole lot more adjustment. We were still trying to get a bit too cutesy for mine, and we got rolling. So without getting into too much on the players, any first half observations from your side, mate?
I was more just concerned with where we were turning the ball over in the first half. They probably didn't actually make us pay to the level that they probably would have wanted to, and it could have been a little bit worse, especially in the first quarter. We did get our hands on the ball a little bit more in the second, and we sort of then failed to put it on the scoreboard. But yeah, just where we were turning the ball over, I don't mind the game plan. I think it's good, but at the moment, it's high. They were talking a lot about on commentary. It's high reward, but it's also high cost if you do turn it over. And there has been an area that we need to work on. I think scores from turnovers at halftime. They'd kicked 5 of their 6 goals from that. So I think we just need to work on that a little bit. That was my biggest concern. It certainly helped in the second half that we did address that at halftime.
Yeah, look, it's a good question there, Tony. We'll unpack it as we go. But I think what was interesting was I liked that we clogged up the corridor, because that's where they absolutely blitzed the Blues and really broke the game apart there. We were very, very strong denying that corridor and the formation. I actually noticed there's the diamond sort of pattern that you observe a lot. And there's that guarding of space and whatnot. But there was moments in this game, I don't know if we'll ever see any footage of the end-to-end goals, but it was not just the normal sort of diamond shape. It got very narrow at times. And I was like, oh, wow, they're really hyper on denying that corridor. But then I was interested to see where the ball went and how they were trying to make the most of that, because I think you're backing your runners when you've got a game plan, a formation like that, or you're trying to really tempt them to go one way or the other. So it's interesting to watching. I'm still observing some of these patterns, trying to observe, like, make sense of it. And look, going into the second half, much better. We obviously got the tune-up chat, and look, I think for a team that was in form, we really showed them. And if we didn't get off to that good start in that third quarter, I was a bit worried. I was thinking it was going to be a bit of a long afternoon. So credit where credit's due there. Got a few fan comments. Let's just roll off a couple.
I did see one from Chris. Hardwick definitely in the best. I do agree with you, mate. I think I got a little bit shied away. I think I gave him 3 stars in the player review. I wanted to give him 4. And I had a look at his stats, and I got a little bit shied away from it. I didn't want to get smashed in my first one. So I did think he had a good game though, and he's had a rough couple of weeks. So it was really good to see him. Bounce back to form.
Mate, come on, Mitch. If you're standing up, you're competing against a bloke that's done his hammy. Here it is. Kane has got the intel, and Daz, you're getting some shoes that you're going to have to follow, like some big shoes to follow here. So, no, but you've done a good write-up, and be bold, mate. We've got to tell it how we see it. And on Hardwick, let's just go there. I think I hear you. You want to encourage him. For mine, it was one of his best games of the year.
Yes, so, for sure.
Do you award an extra star for that versus what he did on the field and what we know he's capable of? I think he had an important role to fill in, and with Ginnivan, and I think he was trying to get a little bit under the skin, to be honest, at times. So I think he did that well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a strength of his career, really. He does like that, he likes to get under people's skin, and he's definitely, I've just saw Hardwick's Hodgie 2.0 from Scott Williams. That's probably a good little reference. He was good. I thought he was really, really good. I apologize here. I can't remember who the spoil was against, but they brought it up in the post-match presser with Sam Mitchell. He actually thanked the reporter for bringing Hardwick up, because he rarely gets mentioned in post-match presses. And he said, Dimmer's great. And they sort of had a little bit of back and forth there, which was good. But he did have a spoil. I think it was in the third or the fourth quarter. And I'm telling you, there's not too many defenders that would have even got a look in, and he's just got a clean fist straight through. I forget which Collingwood forward it was, but it was incredible.
Sorry, I can't place it myself. I haven't seen in the comments who it might have been, but there's a few compliments here for Dimmer. Hodgie 2.0 I would love. I was seeing that this year's gone. Maybe he's put off the gas a little, but look, we love him. I think he does an admirable job. Most weeks, even if he's not playing to that full potential. But maybe there's a few tweaks with a few other personnel around him, and a bit of change to his role. So he does play well for pound for pound. Can I ask for fans, who did you tip before the game? Drop that in the comments, because I was warming as it got closer to the bounce. I was just like, I reckon we can do this. I was feeling very good. And I wasn't, yes, we lost. I move on pretty quickly. I was pretty happy with, I guess, different aspects. But Mitch, who were you on? Who did you tip?
Interesting you say that. I was going with Pies, and only because of the forecast. So it wasn't a great day. Got a lot of rain in the second half, which ironically I was actually completely wrong, because I thought the wet weather would suit them more. They did a real big number on Freo 2 or 3 weeks ago in the wet. And I thought, oh no, if it gets really wet, are they going to, sort of open us up as well? And then ironically, I couldn't have been more wrong, because once it started raining more heavier, we actually got back into the game. So I was happy that we're in the game. Obviously would have liked the 4 points, but it's not all about wins and losses this year, as we keep saying, and we just got to try and keep that in mind, I think.
Yeah, and being down by 33 at one point in the game to come back, very admirable. And I was the way the wind started to blow in at the G, I thought it's going to rain for the rest of the game. It lightened off in the last, but yeah, when it was still coming down in the third quarter, it did very well. So most fans were pretty here commenting that they were on board with the Hawks. So good on you. I thought we were in with a chance too, and I just got a bit more bullish. So their youngsters stood up. I think some of our youngsters did quite well. Like Bramble's game, he's just a smart footballer. He's someone I just enjoy watching, and I think you commented on his efficiency in the review.
Yeah, it was probably his best game that I'd seen. I did comment that I didn't know how it stacked up stats wise, but just in terms of, he really stood out for me, especially in the first half. But he was someone that when I was doing the review, I knew it was going to be easy to comment on him. I was really impressed, and Sam Mitchell did comment on it in the post match presser as well. He did agree that it was his best game in Hawks colours, so far. So very good. I was very impressed.
Yep, it's a good point by Scotty here. The energy. I was actually shocked. I was like, where is it? What I will say is I did observe, and I don't know how much it was on TV. I haven't watched the full replay. I watched the highlights again after the game, but Bruce was absolutely bursting out of his skin trying to kick a goal because he's normally that calm, smart, unselfish footballer. But I reckon Samuel, the forward line coach, got in his ear and said, get on the board quickly, get a goal because it's going to pump everyone up. Because he was like, those little arms just pumping.
Probably he almost looked, he's very selfless, Bruce, but there was a couple of times there, I think he did, you could sort of see he just wanted a goal, especially early. He did get one. I think he got one in the third quarter. I think he kicked the fourth of our 5 in a row. And that was really good to see. Just quickly, while we are talking about goals, how good was CJ's first goal? I want to hear this from the fans as well. I didn't realize he'd never kicked a goal before. They were talking about it on commentary for the game as well. Just walks to 50, bangs it through. Did have to wait, a couple of minutes for that score review, but it was really good to see. And the smile on his face when it did get confirmed was priceless.
It was. They got around him, and then I reckon he was. That was the biggest spring in a step I've seen all season as he jogged back to the back line. Probably not an easy assignment again on Ginnivan as well. So between he and in that second half, because the first half, mate, he was all over the place in a really good way, and he was involved in a lot of the play. So. Nice to see our boy CJ get a goal. If you are not behind any players, you can sponsor them with us at Talking Hawks. Get on to talkinghawks.com and player sponsorship starts at $50. Get on board and sponsor Denver, CJ, and the infamous Jai Newcomb because there's a chance you'll be able to come and join them at some upcoming lawn bowls with us and a few other things. Enjoy getting behind the next generation.
Absolutely. One player I did want to ask you about, Matty. I was a little bit torn in the player review. I didn't think that he had the best game, and then I went and looked at his game again and thought I might have been a bit harsh on him. I was watching the game with my brother, who's a Mad Hawks as well, and I made a comment on Jarman Impey, and my brother was very quick to turn around and say, geez, you're hard on Jars. What did you think of his game? Particularly the first half. I think he turned the ball over a bit, but he was important and obviously instrumental in help us getting on the board for that first of the day.
I'm with you. It was a bit of a mixed game, and I think he was probably asked to take the game on. And with foot speed, we went from the short, game and handball in the first half to, okay, it's a wet day now, boys. Let's try and take them on and run. If you got that ball under your wing, go. And our fast runners take them on. Yeah. So I think he tried to do that a few times. Who was it chasing him? He's bloody zigzag. I think it was in the third quarter. And I'm like, what are you zigzagging for, mate? Just because it's faster if you're running in a straight line. And that's what the defender behind you is doing, mate. Use your speed. But we're used to a little bit more poise and polish. And perhaps that's a little bit credit to Collingwood's pressure and the way the ball was coming in. They generally went long most of the day, and so it's probably a little bit of a mixture of a crumbing and a lockdown role, but also take the game on when you get it rather than that aerial stuff. It wasn't as much of an intercept game for for Imps that we have seen him play in the past. Probably it's getting a bit further back since he's played that role. So yeah, mixed.
Mixed, yeah, okay, cool. So mixed feedback. I'm seeing a couple of things now just about Hardigan. I actually slammed him in the review, to be honest. So fans going against me there, which is good. Good to get some feedback. I gave him a 1 star and wasn't much really to like. I do like watching him play. He's a big unit, and he threw his body around a bit, which was good. But
so what were you looking for? What made you judge his game harshly?
I just thought in the first half that he just looked a little bit out of sorts. We all sort of did, but I didn't see much from him, and that was mainly the key.
I don't know if we all did. Maybe just you did.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. I might have got that one wrong. He didn't have a lot in terms of his stats. He didn't have a lot. But I guess defensive plays, sometimes they're gonna get the ball a bit, but it's not all about stats, as we know. So there's a couple of feedback here that he has had a decent game. So I think I've got that one wrong.
I think his game, he plays within his limits. He is careful with the ball when he gets it. Generally, he's not too ambitious, and I think it's more of a nullify this bloke.
Yep.
Win out, in terms of the day. At the end of the day, don't keep him to this many sort of thing. So I think he played his role. So whether that's I'd definitely up him from a 1 star, but mate, you put the pen to paper. So well done for you, because I didn't do that. What if he's cop here? Welcome. You're welcome. The Day was another one that had an exciting first half, and sort of nice to see him growing and rising again. But did quieten off. What did you make of his day?
Yeah, really, really, really good first half. At quarter time, he was probably best on. I know obviously you got to play 4 quarters to be your best on, but no, he was really good early. Even commentators did mention that on the coverage on Fox Footy, that he'd had a really perfect day so far. It was only about 10 minutes in, to be fair, but he was everywhere early, which was good. He dropped off a little bit in the second half, which is something to watch. However, it's just
is it really fitness?
Yeah, possibly, but it's the longest stretch he's had on the park, I believe. I did hear that in the media afterwards. And I think Sam
consecutive games
as well, consecutive games. So really good to see that, because we obviously want him out there for as long as we can. And the more games he gets back to back, the better he's going to be. So, I did like what I saw, albeit a quiet second half.
Yep. I'm just going to, there's a couple of good comments here on Jars. I'm just going to quickly dip back here. Dami Army. Yep. I've wondered that too. I'll back him in. Cody's
he just
Cody's
seems
behind
to
him.
He just seems to get caught a little bit more now. Like he could really put a few sort of a big gap on people in a couple of strides. He doesn't seem to have that now. Whether it's other players that are chasing him are just as quick, or he's lost half a step. He's coming back. He come back from a pretty serious injury last year, the year before, so might have lost a bit.
We've got Cam joining us next Monday night, I believe. So here's what you're in for, fans. I like that.
Yep.
I can't say anything different. So that counts for a lot. It's not always the output, and it's probably the same as a Hardigan. You got to see in your head, directing traffic, making some good judgment calls, and making the people around them better. So let's get on to the bloke that had a Superman cape on. I think, and there's a lot of comments we've skimmed over. So Nick, Chris, absolutely, you're not alone. We've got to be loving what we're seeing, don't we, fans? What do you got him down for the season? What fans drop? How many goals is this fella going to kick if he keeps playing every game? Because we've got, what are we? Round 12.
12, yep. So one by round, and then
10 more games to go. 22 rounds. Oh, 23 rounds. Sorry, isn't there?
23, yeah.
All right, 11 more rounds. Let's say it's 11. Correct me if I'm wrong. 54 says 10.
Do we know how many he's kicked? Is it? I think it's 29. Is it so far? Is that 29 from set shots? I'm not sure.
All right. We're gonna go there. You look it up, and I'm gonna go to some of the fans while they are dropping a few things on. 22 in a buy. Thanks, Dominic. Beautiful. That's why we have 23 rounds. Thank you, of course. So are you happy with this? We've got mid-50s to low 60s. I think Russell's not saying 27 goals. I think 27 for the season. Or are you saying, have we got 27 rounds? We're going to make the grand final. And no, just no. 3 game. It is a good thing, isn't it? Look at that.
Yeah, Con, interesting you touched on that, the average 3 per game. Yeah, he's got a high average. I don't know if I want to go with this because I don't think I can remember. I know Jeremy Cameron was one of them that was in. There was, I think, there's 3 players there, and he was in elite company with who's averaging either the same or as many as him in his games that he's played this year. So, yeah, I mean, I think I can probably kick 60 or 27. Yeah,
there it is.
Yes.
Awesome.
How good was his? I think it was his 3rd goal from 55 with a wet ball and just pumped it through.
He's brought out the super cannon and he's just absolutely ripped into that leather. And mate, he was that pumped him up. So it should. It pumped us all up. So that was a big goal in the name of the game.
Huge. I rewatched the game today. I don't know if I'm going to get this right, but I think that was to put us back within 4 points, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it was, which was huge. Kicked the first 5 goals of the 3rd term, and that was just, you could see how much it meant to him as well, that he's just getting more and more confident each week, not just in the air, but also he just doesn't seem to genuinely lose many one-on-ones. He might not win it, but he's at least halving it, and that's going to bring other forwards into the game. I touched on that in the review with Cozzy as well. It was awesome. I'm almost running out of words here because
I understand. It's very efficient. He's doing a lot. I did hear Gary Lyon on SEN saying he talked to his former coach, so I'm assuming that was Alistair, and I haven't heard the conversation if that was on air, but yeah, just Alistair, the former coach, had said he just needed to basically believe in himself and mature. And you're seeing him taking the bull by the horns now, and it's like 4 goals straight on a wet day. A big forward, mate. And I think it was 7 score involvements from memory. It might have been 6. So very solid.
Yeah. I'm seeing a few comments as well regarding his signature. There we go, Kane. We do need to sign him ASAP. I'm hoping that gets done soon. We never like when we've got a good young prospect and we're holding out on a signature, but I'm sure he's just putting a little bit of more value on that contract, and hopefully that will sign him for a good deal that locks him in for the Hawks for many years as we can get him for.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to see him sign for, fans? How many years? Because he's showing quite a bit, and it's not looking like he's slowing down. But in our Talking Hawks chat, I think somebody called it that it probably sounds like a good news item for the buy round that we talk about Mitch Lewis's signature being planted. So let's see. It's not intel. We don't know anything there, but we will see. Do you give him? I don't reckon he's a money deal.
Not just yet.
Respectfully. You couldn't make me ever put a buddy deal in front of him. But I love him. Doing well. Not a 10-year deal. Come on, I'm surprised Buddy's still going, and well done. Hey, they've got some good WD-40 up in Sydney, keeping his joints rolling.
They do.
All right, Brucey. 250, Liam Shields, the men of the moment. They were obviously trying to put in. I thought Shields played very well. I think he's very important to our structure. I'm not gonna keep quiet about it. I actually have got a lot of time for him, and I think he's going to continue to get games to the end of the season because he played a very significant role. He's just smart. He runs to the right spot. He's a link up. He draws people. He will go and get the hard ball. He's putting a body on his opponent. He's absolutely playing a role. And I don't know if you've got stats or if you know how many he chalked up, but mate, he's just very important to our our ball movement around the ground.
Yeah,
He's run
well
as
said.
well.
Mate. Yeah, well said. I've got his stats here: 22 disposals, 7 tackles, 6 contested possessions, 1 clearance, and 2 inside 50s. Definitely had the better game out of the 2 milestone men. Luke Bruce played okay. I didn't think it was anything, extraordinary. Certainly not close to his best, but he tried all day. But Shieldsy was great. Yeah. Interesting that you comment on that. He can just play any role for us, can't he? Really, whatever the team needs.
He's lost a step, in pace and all of that. But I think he's that veteran. He plays within his limits, and he's given an assignment, and he will do it. And it can be changed mid-quarter or quarter time. We don't have the cattle right now where I've heard Sam say this. We can't. It's some messages are easy to deliver at quarter time to get things changing. He's the sort of bloke. Here's a message, son, and I think it's in very good hands. So, yes, you can argue get the youth through, but I think he actually is again one of those senior voices that keeping that balance right, that right mix of senior players that are getting it done. Jager. Tommy Mitchell, it's play a little bit of a lesser role, let them come through, enjoy, get around them. Let's get success, and set the team, the club up for success. So,
absolutely. How do you think Bruce went in 250?
What was that one?
How do you think Bruce went? Obviously, he was the other milestone man, 250. I was probably a little bit harsh on him.
But we kind of touched on it. I think he would have been a little bit disappointed with his own game. I don't know if that were your words, but that's it. I think he tried. It was gallant effort, and on a wet day, he got that beautiful mark, one of the mark of the rounds contenders, and that was good because he did do. He threw himself at that against a couple of other big fellas, and I think in a wet day, it could have been a Brewsty day, but it just wasn't this week.
He tried. I think I did touch it on the player review that nothing summed up his effort more in the game than that last play of the game. He grabbed the ball, just quickly went, probably only needed on half a second, but it was a very good tackle from the Pies player. His name escapes me now, but not the result he was after, but hey, he's done it for years. Congratulations on 250 for him.
Yeah. We will get there shortly, Huntsman. But anyone else just before we move on? I think
got to touch on Jai, I would think. Have we touched on Jai?
Oh, of course. No. Please. Oh, actually, before you do, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Dylan Moore, somebody asked, is there a change of roles? I can't say I observed it or have noticed to this point. But he does need to give us more because he's shown us at the start of the season what he is giving. And you think of a Sam Butler coming in. Again, a good game from him. I liked what I saw in this game, not necessarily consistent across 4 quarters. However, Maury, bring it back to a goal a game, 2 goals a game. Give us some excitement. However, our bigs are firing more now at the moment, so maybe the ball's coming in a little bit differently. Sorry, go on.
No, all good. I was a bit the same. I didn't necessarily observe too much of a change of role, but when I was doing the player review, I had a look at his stats, and he did spend a lot more time on the defensive half of the ball. So obviously he's a small forward. He's spending more time on the defensive end, then there's obviously a little bit of a role change there. Not sure how long that's going to go for, but it was.
I did notice that actually.
Yeah.
He's going deeper, probably. He's going end to end. I think they've actually trying to use the tank that he's got. So perhaps that's actually part of the tweak to his games for parts of the game. So he will just outrun most opponents because he will be a chain or a link and just do that 200-meter, 300-meter gut run or good bursts through 3 and even at times end to end. So it's pretty impressive.
Correct.
Is it 300 meters? I don't even know if there is 300 meters end to end, but probably not quite.
Probably not.
Ball turns over. He keeps running. So, sorry. Let's go. Jai Newcomb. He was right up there, wasn't he? Best players.
Yeah. Nearly gave him best time. I couldn't go past Lewis. We'll get into your top 5 shortly, Matty. especially the second half. It was probably after quarter time, to be fair, that he really stepped up, but especially the second half. I forget who was commentating, but one of the commentators did mention in the first quarter it was late and he'd only had one touch, and he needed to lift. I'm sure he didn't hear this, but it was almost like he heard that comment, and just from there has just said, "Jump on my back, boys. Here we're going." I think he had 12. He was game high for tackles as well, so he had 12 tackles. I think he had game high clearance as well, maybe 8 or 9. And we finally won a clearance battle, Matty. I think it was only
it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it was our second, only by 3, but still, hey, win's a win. I'm not going to be picky at this stage because
Here we
I've
go.
been asked for a step up in the middle.
Joe, 8 clearances, you're correct. So 406 metres gained. I think, yes, the runner did take a little message out to him and go, mate, they're giving it to you in the commentary box. And he just said, I'm going to give him some back from Poo Wong. So, he's done very well after quarter time.
He did. Yeah, just like I said, just put him on the back. Let's go. And you could see once we started winning some ground ball, everyone sort of just followed. It was good to see us win some ball out of the middle. Like I said, I've been a real campaigner for that, saying that we need to step up that area, and it was good to see. And it was all led by him. So, really, really happy. He was probably, him and Lewis were the two main reasons that we did get back into the game. And then even to be in a chance to win it I thought was really good from where we were. And that's all comes down to the work that, more than 2 players did, but it was off sort of the back of their efforts.
Yeah, brilliant. Last one, and we will just keep moving. But Reeves, yes, good to see him get through unscathed for this match. So, injuries. Look, it could have been pretty devastating with Gunston. It didn't look good. And he kept going to his, is it to his credit? I think they assess a player like Gunners and know his body pretty well. He knows his body obviously very well. So I was amazed that he kept running after you watch that replay. So he's down with an ankle for 2 weeks. Ned Long, hamstring 2 weeks. Good to hear that it wasn't the same injury for Gunston to the ankle. So unfortunate. The way he got caught up. So test for Jack Scrimshaw, Josh Ward, Emerson Jecker, 2 weeks with a hamstring. Tommy Phillips still 3 with the ankle. And the rest TBC. So Seamus Mitchell, ankle shoulder, Max Lynch, concussion, and Ben McAvoy with the neck. Tyler Brookman obviously done for the season, queuing the rack. So we will talk about the game against Freo, and it'll be a very interesting one with, I guess, some of what we're bringing in the brand and the brand that they are bringing too. So I can't wait to see that arm wrestle. But doing well, the Medico team, they're sort of keeping them on the paddock, coming back fairly quickly. Gunners came back surprisingly fast compared to the first prognosis. So, let's see who's the most important player there. That's Scrimshaw, Gunston. You'd maybe argue McAvoy and Lynch certainly play a role, but Joshy Ward plays a role. For mine, Scrimshaw or Gunners.
Probably Scrimshaw or Gunners, yeah. Hard to sort of undersell McAvoy's role, I guess, and his contribution. He's obviously the skipper. I think Sicily's doing a fantastic job, don't get me wrong, but it will be good to have him back when I think he's still a while away though. What did you say how long he was away, McAvoy? Is he done for the year?
It's still a TBC.
I think he's still a while away. I would think if we're going to see him, it's very close to the end of the season, but probably Gunners. Really calm head out there, and obviously his resume speaks for itself. So probably Gunners. Scrimshaw will hopefully play next week, but we'll get into that in the preview for the Fremantle game.
Yeah, probably great call there, Damiami. All right. Well, there's no VFLW. They're getting ready for this week. They're getting ready for their finals against the Bombers. So stay tuned. But Box Hill, let's just quickly do a whip around there. We had a few listed plays, but another good win. Mitch, if you got down to the ground, tell us what you liked in the comments. Who's a standout or anything of note for the fans. But Mitch, you've had a quick look at this week's game.
Yes, yeah. So it was a good win. Played at Arden Street, so played North down there. It was a pretty comfortable win, all 4 quarters. So 15-17, 107 to 412, 36. So 71-point win for the boys. Kavara and Green both kicked 3 each. I think Kavara kicked 3-4. And from what I hear, I didn't see any of the game, but from what I do hear, they both could have kicked probably 4 or 5 more each, just depending on wind and their own unselfishness as well. So 29 total, plus 29 total disposals, plus 20 inside 50s, and plus 9 in the clearances was pretty much a comprehensive performance. And now knocking on the door of the top 4. So we'll see how that plays out in the next few weeks. But good to see 2 AFL listed players in Finn McGuinness and Jimmy Warple, probably the 2 best on. So McGuinness had 35 touches, 1 goal, 7 marks, and 4 clearances. And then
can I interject?
Yeah, you can go for it.
Otten's who gave us a write up today, which I love reading. Otto's great. It'd be good to get him on.
Yep.
He talked about it when it was. I've gone blank now. Not a winger's day, he said.
Yep.
But who else was the other listed player? Who's on the wing? I've gone blank. Blondie.
I'm not following. Sorry.
Sorry. So he talked about it not being necessarily a winger's game for one of the other boys in these write up, but Finn McGuinness played off a wing and got 35. So for not a winger's game a day.
Yeah,
he's done incredibly well. Saunders, thank you, Colin. Saved me. We've got a reliable group here, so saved me looking like a goose. Con saved the day for me. But yeah, sorry. So and then Warps. Back to you.
Yeah, Warps. So 30 disposals, 5 tackles. I don't know if it was 12 or 13 clearances. The headline said 13, and then the stat said 12. I've seen a little bit of both. I mean, 12 or 13, that's still elite. He was 5 clear of the next best player in terms of clearances, and had 11 inside 50s as well. So good to see him return to form. That's what we needed from him, Matty, because his last few games at AFL level obviously weren't quite where we expected to be for the Warpedo. So pretty much what we've asked of him to go back to Box Hill and get some form.
Yes.
12 clearances or 13, whichever one it is, whichever one. We'll say 13. We'll give him one more, I think. Really, really good. Don't know if he'll come straight back in. I'm sure you guys will touch on that in the preview. But it was just good to see him get back to some form. He needed that for his own confidence. Very good.
I just love it. I love they haven't rushed him back in. He's really having to earn it and find his form. And yes, it was 13 clearances, 5 tackles as well. So, actually, it says 13 clearances in one part and 12 in another. So, anyway, the statisticians down there, you're doing a good job. And we've got one more listed player, a newbie for us, who's familiar with the Box Hill own. Actually, James, is it Blanc or Blank?
I'm going with Blank. I could be wrong, but that's what I've been saying. So We'll roll with that until we've been told otherwise.
Yep. So Blank, he's 15 disposals. Nice. Tank Morris as well. He's talked about his consistency. Is 1 or 2. We get a bit of comments on here. People want to see Joshy make his debut. And Denver, we must touch on Denver, our boy down there.
Yeah, quiet sort of day for him. Only touched it 10 times, or maybe not. It wasn't too much more than that, I don't think. But
I think he's got 11 on. I've got it right here in front of me. So, it's good. They're holding him to his standards. It's like he played below his abilities and adjusted to the game and got going. So, all right, good. I know that'll sting. Get up, Denv. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Want to see you back. Want to see you pushing.
Absolutely.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's about. Yeah, that's exactly where I was at. I had no. That was my Saunders comment before. Sorry, no pun intended there. So, all right, cool, mate. Thank you. Of some of the Box Hill players, I just want to throw it to the fans. If we've got an opportunity to get some of them on, I wouldn't mind Fergus. Fergus Gray. Who would you love to hear from? I wouldn't mind getting Youngie on, Clinton Young. a legend, and Ots. We'll get ons on. But of the players, who would you love to hear from? I think there's definitely some entertaining ones down there. So we'll keep an eye on the comments now.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I did want to touch on for the game was our efficiency inside 50. Again, we are ranked second in the league for efficiency inside 50, which is really good to see that once we get it down there, it's not a problem of scoring. It's just it probably doesn't get that down there quite enough. We haven't won an inside 50 count for the year. I think we might have won it against North, actually. But since then, I don't think we've won one. But to counteract that, our efficiency inside 50 is really good. There's only one team that is Richmond that are ranked higher than us at the moment. So we score from roughly 51% of our inside 50s, which is a very good conversion rate, and it was again high on the weekend. I think we were 12% more efficient than Collingwood were, and that's the main reason we're able to stay in so many games.
Nice.
Probably wouldn't think that. The two biggest differentials there of obviously being the 2 10-goal losses. Aside from that, I think we've been better in most games. I do have a stat sheet there, but I don't have it in front of me right now. So,
all right, mate, memorize it for next time. But all good. So I'm just going to quickly roll through a few of these. I don't know if Chris Murray's actually rolling down at Box Hill these days. It's nice to see. I would love to get Colo on as well. So let's see. There's some interest. If you've got a connection here with Maxi, get the Maximus lunch on. It would be good. So let's hit it. Top 5 fans.
Yep. So
top 5.
What do we think, Matty?
I'm going to give a look. So check out Mitch. He's debuted. If you've just joined us, check out the talkinghawks.com article on our socials. You'll see the player review. So we do a 5-star rating, and I bring you my bestest. So I'm going to give an honourable mention to Butler, Nash, Day, Hardwick, and Chad, because I liked some of what I saw in all of their games.
Yes.
The way they're coming along. And I'm going to give, I do have expectations. So Sicily comes in with 1, 5 being my highest votes. But Sis, again, pretty good. I would have liked to have seen Sis kick a bit longer. And maybe that was because he was told otherwise. But in a wet day, you've got a big boot. You can set us up, and he's accurate with a long boot. I don't think the balls get waterlogged like they used to. So that is not an excuse. Mitchie Lewis showed us with that big bomb, and even there was a couple to go. The moment came, those 2 big forwards made it happen from outside 50. So Sis, 1, I'm going to give 2 to Shields, and it's not just the rose-coloured glasses. I think he played a big role. I talked to that before, so I will move on to 3. I'm giving 3 to Bramble, and albeit maybe a little bit quieter and lesser noticed and seen, but I did like what he was bringing, and his efficiency stands out for mine. In a wet day, to have that efficiency, I think it's great. He runs, he goes hard, he goes in hard, and he doesn't take a backward step, which I really like. So I think he's balancing that role in knowing when to go in and get it, which isn't his primary role, but he's not afraid of it at all. I think we do want to use his run, his decision-making, his disposal, and it was good. Yeah, I've got Nuke at 4, and look, we just keep talking about how good he is, and I try to keep it very grounded and the lid well and truly on. But Nuke, well done again, mate. It's phenomenal to see you rise, and after the first quarter, where I don't know if you heard the whistle to start the game, the siren. I think he heard the second quarter and he was ready to roll.
Here we go, boys. Let's go.
And so Nuke, he's getting it done week after week. So give us your 1 to 5 fans. But Lewis for mine, just too hard to go past. The big fella getting it done in the wet. His score involvements and his accuracy in a big game, in some moments where we really needed the scoreboard, catch up. He stood up, and for mine, one of the best forwards going around. He's
Absolutely.
he's making us all smile through the week. So
He is. Can't really disagree too much with that. The top five, that's pretty good. Do want to give a mention to Dimmer. I thought Dimmer was pretty close as well. Seen a couple of comments as well. Dominic, thanks for the feedback on the player review, mate. And then one of the first comments was actually Brooke. I didn't forget about you. Probably won't be able to find that one, Matty. It was right at the top, but there was some good feedback there. So do appreciate that. It was it was hard. It was harder than I expected, the player review. Does a really, really good job. Once I got stuck into it, there was a couple of players that I didn't know how hard to go on and vice versa. But it was a lot harder than I maybe anticipated. So hopefully we get some good feedback. But hey, fans, if you disagree with anything, let me know. Go hard. I can take it. I'm a big boy. It's all good. So we like as much feedback as we can get. I wouldn't think there's too many fans disagreeing with Lewis as best on. He was voted the fan MVP this week. I was glad I was on the same page there. I mean, what more can we say about him? He's just, that was, if you had said to us which obviously you know we can't look into the future, but if you did say to us on Thursday when you boys did the preview that it's going to rain for much of the second half and Lewis is going to kick 4. I don't think you would have even asked about the result. You probably would have just said, no worries, let's go on to next week because it wasn't really his sort of day, but he's just made it his day. The goalie, the snap around the corner that he kicked from about 35, 40 out, that was even just, I was, oh my, wow, blown away. I was sitting on the couch and just, it was.
How do you do? How do you do, goal umpire? How do you like this one?
Exactly right.
Get a load of this. He didn't have a lot of space, and it was only one. I think 2 steps, and just bang bang on the right. It was nice.
It was very
well done. There was one more player we'll just quickly touch on, but Anamita Bannerage. Thank you for telling us who your favourite players are. If you like them and you want to do some lawn bowls with them, come and join us as a sponsor. Check out talkinghawks.com for a player sponsor opportunity with us. Doesn't take much to get involved. Crash and bash, Nash. Nashy, he did very well again. So, Jay, Thank you for the quick reminder. We didn't touch on him too much, but he is just consistently getting it done. I would like to see that development in. Sometimes he's just looking to give it off too quick. He's not looking to attack with it by foot. It's like he's conscious of getting it or being that quick throughput player where it just goes through his hands and he's trying to set somebody up. There's times where I think he needs to look and trust his own boot and learn be aware of the space. So in this game, I noticed a few times he had a little bit more space and he rushed the disposal, but still a good game on a lot of fronts from Crash and Bash Nash. So
absolutely. And I just love how he attacks the ball, and he's really proved me, and we've touched on this a few times, a lot of Hawks fans wrong, more from what do you call him, Crash and Bash. I don't mind that. That's good. We will quickly touch on this. I think, is there a Thursday night game this week? So are we looking at a preview Wednesday night then, or what's?
We will not clash with the AFL. So if we do, sorry, my apologies. I thought it was Thursday, but we will not clash here. Thank you for asking. So we will let you know on socials tomorrow if it is going to be tomorrow night. Would love to have you back. And that's most likely Daz if he can get off the couch and his tissues and whatever's going on.
Get stuck into him. Just say he's got bigger shoes to fill now that he's stepping in. After me, get stuck right into him, right? He won't like it.
So we'll have a good look at that. And fans, Mitch, it's been great. Thank you. Thanks for all your efforts and that thankless task of writing up the reviews. I hope you enjoy it, fans. We enjoy putting our passion out there and having these conversations with you. So to one and all, keep getting behind our mighty Hawks, and we will catch you tomorrow or the next night. Catch you later.